Do you know that Wales is a country within the United Kingdom? It is located to the west of England. Wales is home to 3 national parks, the largest of which is Snowdonia National Park, or Erie in Welsh language. The village Lanfair, sorry about that, is the longest. I sure cannot pronounce it. Try if you can. Can you pronounce that? On the Isle of Angles has the longest place name in Europe. Rugby is a popular sport in Wales. Welcome to another awesome series of A Nigerian Living In. Today, we are taking an adventurous trip to a country known for its rugged coastline, stunning landscapes, rich history, mountainous national parks, and Celtic culture. We are going to Wales. Her capital city is Cardiff.
Welcome to Swaggerslifestyle.
Today I'm having a conversation with a poet, Banji. He's a YouTuber. He creates content on his journey using poetry. I would allow him to please introduce himself. Can we meet you?
Hi, my name is Banji. I write poetry most of the time, and I just go through life. And I have recently I've just been focusing on being a dad more than writing. But soon I'm trying to get back into my writing, and nothing really much has been happening really.
How did you know that you had a talent or skill in poetry?
I think it was when I was in year 1 in uni. Somebody in my class wrote something down, was like, I should check it out. What do I think of it? And I thought that it was really nice, and I just felt like I could do this as well. So then I just picked up my phone and did something similar, and since then I started posting it on my class group chat, and everybody was liking it. And then it started spreading around my uni, and people were like, oh, you're really good. And I didn't really classify it as poetry at the time. It's just people started calling it poetry, and I was like, okay. And ever since then I just kept on writing really.
So how do you get your inspiration?
For the most part, most of the time I used to get it based on the people around me, sometimes how I'm feeling, and sometimes it depends on the kind of music I listen to. Like, there are poems I've written based off a song, and it had nothing to do with me or my experience, or sometimes based off like a movie, and I just write like as a character basically. But sometimes I write from personal experiences, sometimes I write based off of what I see other people going through, and like that.
Thanks for sharing. So if you want to continue listening to his deep, rich baritone voice, go to his YouTube channel. You will see a lot of his work, and trust me, some of them actually will keep you thinking, like deep thinking, like it thought-provoking. Yes, that's the word, thought-provoking. Like, anytime you post, I'm always going to listen to it. Trust me, I always sit down within myself and start thinking. That's the kind of poetry that he writes. Thank you so much for sharing. So let's go straight into our conversation. So how did you relocate to Wales, and how many years have you been in Wales? Why Wales, and how were you able to settle down?
I moved to Wales it has been over 4 years now, and I came to Wales for uni. Why did I pick Wales? I didn't really think much about it. I didn't really do my research about Wales. I just wanted to go to uni, and Cardiff was the uni I went to, and it just happened to be in Wales. But when I got there, that's when I started learning about Wales. Essentially, I just realized I didn't know that they have their own language, which was a bit of like it was a bit difficult for me to navigate, because all the stop signs and directions are written in Welsh and also in English. And when I first got here, I used to confuse Welsh for English, and there are times where, like for example, during the first period when I was here, I was trying to order an Uber, and I was trying to tell the driver where I was, and I was like, oh, then I look at the signpost and it said Croiso, and I was like, oh, I'm at Croiso, and the driver was a bit confused from the other side of the phone. He didn't end up picking me up because he couldn't understand where I was. It's just months later did I discover that Croiso actually meant welcome. So basically, I wasn't telling him where I was. I was just telling him I was at welcome. Yeah, so I didn't know, but it was just months later I just discovered that, oh, that was what I was saying, and it was just very funny. Well, that was a bit of like a settling down to that I had to do.
Thanks for sharing. It's sorry that I'm laughing. It's funny, but thanks for sharing. So,
It's a very funny
what
story.
was the process of relocation for you? Like you said you went to school. So what was the requirement? How long did it take for you, to relocate to Wales?
I think it was pretty easy. I think me relocating to Wales, I first moved to London because that's where most of my family is, and it was between the NSAS period, October 2020, and then I was in London in January, and it was during COVID period, so I had to just stay in London because most of the times we were all at home at that point. Then I moved to Wales, and schools were shut at that time, so I moved to Wales in May of 2021. Yeah, but I wasn't really able to immerse myself in the uni life because of COVID. So most of the classes I did were online during that time. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for that. So, all right. So, tell us more about Wales. Their history, their customs, tradition, currency, the economy. Tell us. Let's see Wales through your eyes.
Wales essentially shares the same economy as the entire UK.
Okay.
But I think one thing that differentiates them is like the language as well. Is the language, and also their accent is quite different from well, as essentially in any country they have different accents depending on like the areas as well. But I think the difference between Wales and London, because I came to South Wales, I've not explored the other part of Wales, but the difference between South Wales and London is that people are a bit more, I don't want to say nicer, but people notice you more.
Oh, okay.
You get to have like there's an hi, hello, like you could walk to the store and somebody will talk to you basically, than in London, which is like a city where people just walk and
nobody notices you.
Yeah, nobody notices anybody. Everybody's in a rush. It's not the same as in Wales, which was more of like a big culture shock for me, and it took me time to settle, because moving from Lagos to London and to South Wales, I found it hard to like get to settle down, because all my life I've always been on the move. Like in Lagos, you're always on the move, and London is the same. And yeah, you get to South Wales and you have to like wait, and I think that was like my biggest problem, waiting, because the trains come sometimes every 30 minutes intervals to an hour intervals, and that waiting process, which was something I've not been used to, was a bit difficult for me to adjust. It was a bit difficult, yeah. But another thing that I found interesting getting here was realizing that the Welsh don't really like the English, because yeah, they don't like the English, and rugby is much more a bigger sport here than football.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but it was quite like for it'd be interesting realizing that the Welsh don't like the English, because I remember they were playing the Euros. I think it was 2021 or 2022. I'm not quite sure. And people in Wales were rooting for England to lose. It was quite funny. You found it quite interesting that they don't like. But I felt like there's like a very interesting history between the English and the Welsh. I think like the English tried to suppress like their culture and their language at one point in time. So I think they still hold that kind of like a grudge against the English in a way. Well, I'm not quite vast in like the history, but I've seen a few Welsh people that don't like the English at all.
Thank you for sharing. So, what is their official language?
They speak English like the rest of like the entire UK, but they do speak Welsh as well. In South
Okay, so
Wales, I think in North Wales and in Mid Wales, there are more people that speak Welsh than in South Wales. Like in South Wales, you can still see a few people that are Welsh but don't speak Welsh. But I think in North Wales, people speak Welsh fluently and more often than they do down here. But mostly, if you're walking on the road, you hear people speaking English. You rarely hear people speak
so
Welsh
then-
on the road in South Wales.
Okay. Okay. So, I know you can speak English. Can you speak Welsh?
No, I can't speak Welsh, but I know a few words like Croy, so I actually knew that because of like my experience as welcome. Then there's Boroda. I think that is like a hello or something, and I think that is the only two words I know. And I think that the reason why I don't know much is because I live in South Wales. I think if I was living in North Wales or Mid Wales, I would know more. And most of the people I've met that are Welsh can't speak Welsh. So
Wow. That's surprising. That's surprising. I thought it was only like an African thing. We starting to lose our identity and culture.
no, I think
But
yeah.
having it in Wales too is wow.
I think because
Okay, so I was going to test you. I was going to test you to say your name in, to say it in Welsh. My name is XYZ. Welcome to Swaggerslifestyle. Kindly like, subscribe. So I know you can do all of that because you don't even know my name is in, Welsh. So can you pronounce the longest name in Wales?
the longest name.
The longest place. The longest place.
I don't even know the longest place in Wales.
Oh, really? Oh, there's a place in Wales with the longest name. It's called, I can't pronounce it. Yeah. Okay. Wow.
I've not really explored.
Thanks for
I've
sharing.
not really explored properly. I plan to actually, but I've not really explored it. And I feel like because I live in South Wales, where it's just mostly work and just work. There's not a lot. There, where I live in Tonopand in the Rwanda, there are like nice mountains that you can look at. But I just moved from Tonopandi to like Cardiff, which is like the city. So in the cities, there's not a lot to see in the city, but I think there's a castle in Cardiff as well. The castle is quite nice, but I think if you to explore like the proper beauty of like Wales, you need to go towards the north and mid Wales, because I think is that those places are well like preserved.
Okay, thanks for sharing. So, what was your first impression when you arrived Wales?
I think when I first arrived in Wales,
Yes.
I was still struggling with the transportation system and the calm pace. I first was trying to detox from like the fast lifestyle of London and Lagos, but after I've calmed down and I'm beginning to appreciate like the pace of not rushing every time. I realized that the people are quite nice. It's not as scary as moving when you move to another country and you're like you don't know anybody and you're not quite sure how the people are going to be very receptive of you, but they are quite nice and quite like welcoming. So that was very big like plus, and that made me a bit settled in a way. And the other they're quite forward in a way that I don't want to use the word liberal as well, but they are very open in a way to like everybody and everything in a sense.
Okay, so what were the cultural shocks that you experienced?
Culture shock was how similar people in Wales. It wasn't like I was shocked that I could see similarities in people I met here and people back home.
Wow. Okay.
That was a shock I felt. It's like I could see people back home, like in people I saw here. It's like they have because the example I used to give my friends is like the way people are quite like strong-willed back home, and like
yes,
like the spirit of like Lagos, the way people are strong-willed, and you could see it here in a sense, and it was quite a bit a shock when I saw that. Like I wasn't expecting that. It's like the picture you get from like back home is that people are kind of like quiet, sit down drinking tea, don't really timid, don't really go anywhere, but they are very kind of like outgoing and very expressive as well. So that was a bit of a culture shock.
Thank you for sharing. Okay, so what aspects of the Welsh culture was the most challenging for you to adapt to?
I think the most challenging for me to adapt to was that waiting. Going through the train station and you have to wait for 30 minutes, not being in a rush. It took me a while for me to adapt. That has been my biggest hurdle here. Waiting, really. That's been my biggest hurdle in this place. It's not until recently have I been able to like wait and be calm and not rush. But before I got here, when I first got here, that was my biggest problem. Just waiting for trains, waiting in a queue, not being in a haste, not being in a hurry. Because I've never been used to it. Like people that grew up in Lagos, yeah, you know how, you're so
Life
fast and
hustle and bustle.
And you have to like not rush. You can't understand
chill,
that.
like exhale, calm down. Because it's even sounding the way you're talking. You're talking one after the other. The Banji before chilled, but yes, guy now, not so now, but now you know. They've rubbed off on you.
Yeah. It has rubbed off on me, and it's actually better for my health, to be honest.
That's That's nice to know. So, what is their traditional staple food?
I think like I'm I'm not exactly sure if it's the same as the English. I think it is the same as the English. It's the roast dinner.
Okay.
So that's what they have, roast dinner. They have it on Sundays or on Christmas. That's like it's like our jollof rice. When you have the food you have when you want to make something nice for the family, so they make the roast dinner. It's just basically mash, gam, sausages, and it's quite nice, and gravy as well.
Oh, can you tell us any of the Welsh slangs that you know and what it means?
So what the one I know is that they say something like "but," which means like the shortened form of like body or friend. So they say "but."
But.
Yeah, there's a way you say "but." Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And one thing I've realized is that they shorten names a lot. It's like even if your name is a one syllable name, they find a way to shorten it. It doesn't matter what, even if it's an English name, they still shorten it. They love shortening names. They do love shortening.
Wow. Okay. So, what is the work and study environment like for foreigners?
I wasn't able to immerse myself into like the school culture because we was study from home. But I've seen other people like quite enjoy it as well. There is people that live in like shared house. I've had a nice time like mingling with other people, going out, having like a nice school balance, and people are able to work as well. So I feel like people that came after like the COVID pandemic era may have enjoyed it more than I did.
So, but what's the work environment like for foreigners?
Well, because Wales is a bit more reserved than England. There are a lot more. There are opportunities, but it's not as much as it is in England. Do you get?
Okay.
So it's like it's a bit tougher yet than it would have been if you try places like London, which are more industrialized. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, how does work-life balance in Wales compare to Nigeria?
There isn't any work-life balance in the entire UK. I think
There's nothing like
there's
that.
no way to. It's not something like that.
So it's
at all.
easier to manage your personal and professional life here in Nigeria than in the UK.
Yeah, it's nothing like work-life balance.
So how
at
do you
all.
now manage your mental health
It's like
with the work
it's
and
Jesus, what?
no
It's Jesus.
work-life balance?
It's Jesus that is holding our mental health, because there's nothing else. There's really no. There's no work-life balance. No. Well, it takes a while to attain it. I don't know. But I've not seen I don't have a work-life balance. I don't know anybody that has a work-life balance.
Okay. So what is Wales famous and best known for?
I think it's the rugby. The rugby, yes. They are very, very good in rugby. They are well known in rugby, and yeah, I think that, and also they have produced some quite famous boxers, I think, and they are good. They love boxing as well, and I think they are good in boxing, and they have produced like some good boxers as well. And even the Welsh language. I think there was a time I realized that there was I've forgotten the name of the island now, somewhere in Europe, that they speak Welsh. So the Welsh language too is quite well versed and traveled.
And I think I saw somewhere like in Australia or so, I may be wrong, that they speak Welsh too there. I think I saw it somewhere.
Yeah, it's most likely. I think somewhere in Australia it's called New South Wales or something like that.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
So, as a Nigerian and a man, what is it like living in Wales? What do you like and what do you dislike about living in Wales?
I think I like what I like about living in Wales is if you have asked me when I first came here what I like now is what I disliked. Now I like the quiet. I like the fact that I don't have to rush. I can take everything at a pace. I like the serenity that this place brings. Yeah, which was what I disliked about it when I first came, but now I've grown to love it. What I dislike, I don't really have anything I dislike about it. Like the work-life balance thing is not something peculiar to Wales, so I can't say it's a Wales thing.
Yeah.
So it's just something about the entire UK doesn't have like a work-life balance, and it's something I don't really like. But it's not like a Welsh problem, so it's a UK problem. I think these days it's not even a UK problem anymore. Like I don't think there's anywhere that has a work-life balance now. Everybody's struggling.
Problem.
I think it's a global problem.
So, what opportunities has living in Wales provided that you might not have had in Nigeria?
I think the opportunities that he has provided for me, well, is a bit of like the currency is higher, so I think that is like a big plus. The currency is higher, and there are things I've been able to like put aside that I wouldn't have necessarily been able to put aside in Nigeria. But yeah, I think that's just it. And also, yeah, I found my faith in Wales, so I didn't find it in Nigeria. Even so, I think that's a plus as well. Finding God in Wales, yeah, that's all. Yeah.
Okay. So, how do you manage black taxes?
Oh, I don't have black tax.
Oh, really?
I don't get black tax at all.
You're one of the few. Really?
I don't get black tax.
Really?
No, I don't.
Nobody sending you message like, hey, Banji, I never chop, help me.
No, nobody texts me that.
Wow, that's a success story. So, what are the success stories in Wales that can be replicated in Nigeria?
I think healthcare is something that if it's replicated in Nigeria will be a good thing. And also if people kind of like, instead of being a bit self-centered, they're a bit more communal. And like Nigeria used to be very communal, but I don't think it is anymore. I think people are a bit more decided to become really more selfish, and so I feel if people have genuine love for like country, then it will go a long way as well. Because that's something like the Welsh have. They love their country. Even they love Wales, not like the UK. They love Wales, and I think that goes a long way in like the success of like a nation if like the people love the nation as well, and if the government as well love the nation.
That's deep. Thanks for sharing. So,
Okay.
someone from Wales. What is someone from Wales called?
Welsh.
So what can the Welsh learn from Nigerians?
Because the Welsh have a sense of like they do have like a love for their country, and their community is in a broader sense where everybody loves Wales. But I haven't seen a lot of people have like a strong family ties, if you get what I mean. There are a lot of family breakage. Like I've seen a lot of people where that they don't have any family, which is a bit of very strange to me. It's like, because I work in like the healthcare, and I've seen several people in the hospital and they have no next of kin, and that is very strange. Somebody not having a next of kin, or people die alone because there's no family to come and stay with them. Yeah, I think that's something that they can learn from Nigeria. So having that sense of family, like family sticking together.
Okay, so have you encountered any stereotypes about being Nigerian in Wales, and how were you able to address it?
I feel Nigerians everywhere always face stereotypes. You just have to like be yourself and show, and just be yourself and stay true to what you believe in. Nigerians are always going to face some sort of like stereotype whatsoever. So when you hear stuff, you just have to just stay true. Later your works will speak for you, your character is going to speak for you at the end of the day. But there's always going to be some sort of stereotypes being Nigerian, and it's not just from like Welsh or any particular ethnicity. Like other Africans have stereotypes about Nigerians, other Nigerians have stereotypes about Nigerians. Everybody just has stereotypes about Nigerians. So if just be myself and stay true to what I believe in, then my character eventually speaks for me. That's why I don't try to dwell too much on it anymore.
Thank you for sharing. So how has living in Wales shaped your identity as a Nigerian, and how do you maintain your cultural identity?
I think I started speaking Pidgin a lot more in Wales than I ever did in Nigeria.
Oh,
I spoke more
really?
Pidgin in Wales than I ever did in Nigeria, and I think I even spoke more Yoruba in Wales than I ever did in Nigeria. Yeah.
Wow. This is surprising
Yeah,
and
okay.
shocking. So because I was having a conversation with someone yesterday, and I was saying that a lot of Nigerians in Nigeria, as much as possible, have stopped speaking their language, right? But Nigerians living outside of Nigeria, they're picking the language, they're ensuring their children learns the language and all of that. So it's surprising that what I was saying is true, because while you were in Nigeria, you were not really speaking Pidgin English or Yoruba. But now that you're in Wales, you're picking it up and you're trying to.
It's because your sense of identity is more like glaring. Like in Nigeria, I didn't stand out. Everybody looked like me. Everybody spoke like me. Everybody thought like me. But yeah, I stand out. And it's like, so your sense of identity, you cherish it more in a way. Like when you see another, like if I see another Nigerian for the first time, the person wouldn't just speak English to me. The first thing to know that I'm a Nigerian is the person will speak Pidgin first. Then I respond in Pidgin and stuff, or Yoruba or something. Then you respond in that.
Okay, so do you have any Welsh as a friend? Have you been able to integrate with them? And what is one of their culture or tradition that you have adopted?
Uh, I think cause my church, I go to church, is mostly Welsh people in my church, and I have some Welsh friends, and I think the thing about their culture that I have learned from is sometimes cause with my daughter, I take her out more to like all this events and all this baby stuff and all this stuff, which is something I wouldn't usually do in Nigeria. Yeah, but there are a lot of things where I cherish making memories more than I used to, which is something that they do here a lot. They are big on making like memories and going on holidays, even not holidays, just going somewhere cheap. Even people that can't afford like big, extravagant holidays, to go to like something affordable, cheap, to just spend time with the kids and just do something fun.
That's nice. I like that. So there's a sense of, even how when you're creating memories, you're bonding with your daughter, and you're present in her life. I like
Yeah.
that. So what are the tourist attractions in Wales?
They are like mountains. They're like nice mountains that people can see. They are the castles that, and there are some like beautiful landscape like views. Like I think like if somebody is very big on like nature, coming to Wales would be very nice. Yeah, if somebody's
Okay,
big on
thanks
like
for
nature
sharing.
and stuff,
So have you been to any of the places?
coming to Wales would be very nice.
You should find time. Please find time, and let me put it to you. Probably maybe once
No,
in 2
I
months,
haven't.
just find time to
I haven't.
exhale, go and see the beach, the mountains, and all of that. So what do you miss about Nigeria?
I miss my friends. Yeah, that's what I miss. I miss my friends. I miss. Yeah, that's what I miss about Nigeria. I miss my friends. I don't know. I just miss my friends. I miss Lagos in a way. I can't see what exactly I miss about it. I just miss it.
Lagos,
Yeah, I
I'm sure,
just
is the
miss
hustle
it.
and bustle.
Yeah.
The nightlife and everything. Thank you so very much. This has been a wonderful and insightful conversation. Like, I've got to learn a lot, having to have this conversation with you. So the reason why we're doing this series is because there are a lot of, so when people hear Nigeria or Nigerians, they first think about so many negative things and all of that. But the reason why we're doing this series is we're showcasing Nigerians living outside of Nigeria that are there legally, and they're doing legit business, and they're, flying our banner so high in a positive and in a good light, because it's not all Nigerians that are into bad things, right? So that is why we're doing this series. We're changing the narrative out there that we have Nigerians that are good ambassadors of Nigeria, and they are flying our flag so high. So if you are out there and you want to have this conversation with us, you can reach us at swaggerslifestyle@gmail.com. We would love to listen to you, have this conversation, and definitely have you share your experience in the country which you're residing. And to all Nigerians that are out there, please fly our banner high. Do not be part of the statistics that are bringing the country down in a negative light. So in conclusion, Banji, what will be your advice to anyone that wants to relocate to Wales?
It will be like, first do your research, because I think research is most important, and also be someone that is calm. I think the one of the best things that made it quite easy for me to eventually like acclimatize was naturally I'm a very like reserved kind of person. So even though I've always been around rushing and all that stuff, this place kind of fit my personality eventually, because I just realized the rushing I was doing in Lagos was because I had to, was because it's all I've ever known. But now I feel quite at peace, kind of. So my advice is to people to like, when they come here, just relax in a way. Just try and relax, and everything good will come in time. Not to be in a hurry to do this and do that. And I think that's how people get into trouble, trying racing against like a timeline or time limit in a way, in a sense, when just go at like the pace that God has like given you, and everything good will come in time. Basically, that would be my advice for people, is to relax, just put your head down and go about take each day at a time, basically.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you. Note that Wales is often called the castle of the world, with over 600 sites remaining. They have more castles per square meter than any other country in Europe. Wales is often referred to as the land of song, and is notable for its harpist, male choir, and solo artists. The principal Welsh festival of music and poetry is the annual Edinburgh. Till I come your way next time, this is Gbogbo Swagger, and this is Swaggerslifestyle. Make sure you stay true to yourself. Bye. Thank you.
Swag, 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 swag.